FIFA has a football so advanced it can detect something as tiny as a single strand of hair brushing against it. Earlier in this tournament, that technology even ruled out a goal because the ball made contact with a player's hair. So here's the question. How could that same cutting-edge system watch a World Cup quarterfinal, in a moment millions believe they clearly saw, and conclude that nothing happened? Norway are heading home. England are through to the semi-finals, and that outcome has football fans asking two simple questions. Does VAR really work the way it's supposed to, or does FIFA only use it when it wants to? Let's break it down. Before the controversy, this match deserves credit for what it was, an outstanding football game. Kickoff in Miami felt like playing in temperatures of around 113 degrees Fahrenheit, with heavy humidity, turning it into a battle of endurance as much as quality. Norway looked like the stronger side for large parts of the game. They took the lead in the 36th minute when Andreas Schjelderup fired a superb finish past Jordan Pickford, and the crowd erupted, chanting that England were going home. Haaland and Martin Ødegaard were controlling the game, and Norway, playing in their first ever World Cup quarterfinal, found themselves just 45 minutes from an unlikely semi-final. Then Jude Bellingham stepped up. Deep into first-half stoppage time, he received a pass from Anthony Gordon, surged into the box, and calmly fired across the goalkeeper to level it at 1-1. A brilliant finish, but it also became the goal at the center of everything that followed, not because of the strike itself, but because of what happened about 30 yards earlier, moments before the ball reached him. We'll come back to that. The second half belonged to Norway, with Kristoffer Ajer coming within inches when he smashed the crossbar. England had to survive wave after wave of pressure. Then, in the 3rd minute of extra time, Bellingham delivered again. A shot from substitute Morgan Rogers was spilled by goalkeeper Ørjan Nyland, and Bellingham reacted first, burying the rebound for the winner. It was his 6th goal of this World Cup, taking him past Geoff Hurst in England's scoring records at just 23. Even Haaland was taken off midway through extra time, while England, running on empty, held on until the final whistle. England won 2-1. What Bellingham is doing at this World Cup has been remarkable. 2 separate multi-goal matches in a single knockout stage, something no England player has ever done, and level with Gary Lineker and Harry Kane on England's record of 6 goals in a single World Cup. What started as the World Cup of the Kane-Bellingham partnership is increasingly becoming the World Cup of Jude Bellingham himself. None of what's about to be discussed changes any of that. Nobody is questioning his quality. The controversy isn't about how he scored, it's about what happened before the ball ever reached him. There are 2 key incidents that left Norway feeling they'd been treated unfairly. The first, and biggest, the equalizer. Moments before Bellingham made it 1-1, Nyland launched the ball upfield. As it traveled, it appeared to behave unusually, almost stopping in mid-air before dropping sharply toward Elliot Anderson, who played it to Gordon, who set up Bellingham. Norway immediately believed they knew why. The ball had struck one of the cables supporting the robotic sky camera above the pitch. Nyland pointed toward the sky as soon as the goal was scored. Haaland did the same. Head coach Ståle Solbakken confronted referee Clément Turpin at halftime over it. Under the laws of the game, that claim matters. If the ball touches an outside object like a camera cable, it's outside interference. Play should stop and restart with a dropped ball. No goal would stand. So if the ball really did touch that cable, England's equalizer should never have counted. FIFA responded firmly. The sensor inside the match ball recorded no impact, no signal spike, no evidence the ball touched anything in flight. And that's where the frustration begins. This is the same technology known for detecting the tiniest contact. Earlier in the tournament, a Croatia goal was disallowed because the chip detected the ball brushing a player's hair. England manager Thomas Tuchel pointed to that exact example, arguing that if the chip can detect a hair, it should certainly detect a steel camera cable. So we're asked to accept that a sensor accurate enough to catch a strand of hair somehow missed what many believe was contact with a cable. That leaves 2 possibilities. Either the ball never touched the cable, or the tracking system simply doesn't cover a wire positioned that high above the field. A blind spot in exactly the area where this happened. FIFA stands by its position, saying all 16 tracking antennas beneath the stadium roof were fully operational and broadcast footage shows no visible movement of the cable. Solbakken wasn't convinced. His eyes told him one story, FIFA's sensor told him another. Now the second decision. On its own, the camera cable incident could be dismissed as unfortunate. But alongside what happened about 10 minutes into the second half, the criticism gets stronger. Norway thought they'd scored again. Torbjorn Hegem turned the ball in from a corner, and the celebrations began. Then VAR stepped in and ruled it out, deciding Holland had pushed Elliot Anderson in the build-up. To be fair, there was a push, a fairly obvious two-handed shove, and given FIFA's stricter approach to grappling at set pieces this tournament, there's a reasonable case for disallowing it. The issue is the inconsistency. Club owner Haralabos Vulgaris pointed out that VAR examined a routine push, something that happens on countless corners every match, frame by frame before overturning Norway's goal. Yet when the ball appeared to change direction in mid-air moments before England's equalizer, there was no similar scrutiny. One end of the pitch got microscopic attention, the other got almost none. This is reportedly the second time in the tournament England have benefited from a decision like this. The real problem isn't whether Holland fouled or whether the ball clipped a cable. It's that nobody watching can confidently predict when VAR will step in and when it won't. To be fair, both decisions can be defended individually. FIFA's ball sensor genuinely showed no contact, and it's possible Norway simply believed they saw something that wasn't there in the heat of the moment. The athletics refereeing expert Graham Scott made a fair point too. A VAR official isn't realistically expected to be checking a camera cable high above the stadium while reviewing an attacking move. The same applies to the Holland foul. The laws of the game are clear, and he did push Anderson. There's also an important point. Regardless of the controversy, Bellingham's goals were outstanding, and his winner had nothing to do with any camera cable. It came after Nyland spilled a routine effort, and Bellingham reacted first. Even Holland, who had every reason to be frustrated, refused to call it a robbery, describing it instead as a 50-50 decision that went against Norway, and praising England as a very good team. Solbakken took a similar approach, admitting he could complain, but choosing not to. When the people most affected respond with that composure, it's worth being careful before making stronger accusations than they are. There's also a detail that challenges the idea VAR consistently favored England. It ruled against them too. Late in the game, England believed they'd earned a penalty after Jed Spence went down under a challenge from Oscar Bob. Turpin initially pointed to the spot, but after being called to the monitor, reversed the decision. That's not the picture of a referee making every call go England's way. It looks more like a refereeing team making a series of controversial calls in different directions. So this isn't necessarily about a conspiracy, it's about inconsistency. FIFA still hasn't shown it can apply its own officiating technology consistently. For years, fans have been told this technology would remove uncertainty, a ball that detects the slightest touch, offside systems measuring the smallest margins. Yet in one match it identifies contact with a strand of hair, and in another, it can't settle whether the ball struck a large camera cable. It overturns one goal over a routine corner push, but doesn't appear to fully investigate a possible mid-air deflection before another. The technology itself probably isn't flawed. The bigger question is about the people operating it, deciding when to rely on it, when to examine every frame, and when to let play continue. From the outside, those decisions don't follow a standard fans, players, or managers can consistently understand. And that's especially damaging because this controversy landed at a tournament where FIFA's credibility had already taken hits. Folarin Balogun's red card overturned after a phone call, Egypt's formal complaint over officiating, Breel Embolo's dismissal ending Switzerland's hopes, and VAR debates in what felt like every other match. So when the Skycam controversy joined that list, many fans thought, here we go again. Even Alf Inge Haaland, Erling's father, posted a brief, pointed message. Well done, Bellingham and referee. That sums up FIFA's reputation this tournament. The technology may be among the best in the world, but how it's applied often feels unpredictable, so even defensible decisions get met with skepticism. If that disputed goal had benefited a different team, large parts of the internet would probably be convinced FIFA rigged it. The less exciting, more honest explanation isn't a conspiracy. It's inconsistency disguised as precision. Norway didn't lose because of a secret plan. They were beaten by an outstanding Bellingham, a costly mistake from their own goalkeeper, and an officiating system that has struggled to apply its own standards consistently. England now head to Atlanta for Wednesday's semi-final against Argentina, with Bellingham and Kane leading a squad with a genuine shot at England's first World Cup since 1966, though their players looked exhausted and let Norway control more of the match than they should have. For Norway, it's the end of the greatest World Cup campaign in their history. A first-ever quarter-final, driven largely by Haaland's goals, ending on two controversial decisions that could easily have gone the other way. One more painful detail. Haaland, who'd scored more than half of Norway's goals on their run to the quarterfinals, was largely kept quiet in the biggest match his country has ever played, finishing with the fewest touches of any outfield player on the pitch, fewer than half as many as his own goalkeeper, before being substituted through injury in extra time. FIFA is once again facing the same question that's followed it all tournament. What's the value of the most advanced officiating technology in football if people no longer trust the people deciding when and how to use it? So what do you think? Do you trust FIFA's connected ball technology over what many believe they saw with their own eyes? Or has VAR reached the point where it simply isn't consistent enough? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned. England versus Argentina on Wednesday has all the ingredients to be one of the biggest matches of the entire tournament.